Coming up tonight, decision time. The Free National Movement Council meeting to decide who will represent the party in the upcoming by-election. Plus, the countdown is on. The acting press secretary says an announcement will be made soon as to when voters will head to the polls. And later, it's more than just a name change. Alive Business Solutions relaunched last night and expected to be even bigger and better. And then in our news at 7:30. A recent survey revealing that more than 80% of New Providence roads are in poor condition. Those stories and more as our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard, sitting in for Kendino Knowles. The Free National Movement is set to announce its choice for the West End and Bimini seat tonight. The F&M Council is meeting at this hour to make the final decision. Our Joshua Williams joins us live from the F&M headquarters. Joshua, what can you tell us?
That's right, Megan. We're here at the F&M quarters on Mackey Street, and it's the passing of the former MP for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, the late Obi Wilchcombe, that has led us to this point. Now, since then, a number of candidates have thrown their hats into the race, but it's the Free National Movement tonight that will be the first to officially announce their candidate. And it's been a process. Tonight's council meeting will kick off the F&M's official bid for the West End and Bimini seat. But before such a decision is made, there is a process. It requires the submission of a resume and letter of intent by anyone seeking to be recommended to the Central Council. Submissions are made at the F&M's national headquarters in New Providence or Grand Bahama, with electronic submissions via email also accepted. This week, F&M leader Michael Pintard telling reporters that a decision would be made soon. He says the party is optimistic.
We are confident. We understand that traditionally it's been a progressive Liberal Party seat, but we intend tooth and nail to challenge this government on its performance nationally and its performance in Grand Bahama.
This by-election, Pintard believes, is one of utmost importance as the constituency and Grand Bahama as a whole face economic challenges.
Issues that face any political organization or candidate is what can we do in order to improve economic opportunities for Bahamians. This government has had 2 years to make a difference for those persons who were negatively affected by Dorian. Their record has been abysmal.
Many predict the F&M's choice to be Bishop Ricardo Grant out of Grand Bahama, who informed the Nassau Guardian this week of his application to the party for the seat. Despite Grant being the only hopeful to publicly share his desire for the nomination, as to who the party chooses, we'll have to wait and see. Yes, Megan, so in a few minutes we hope to have that official announcement from the Free National Movement. And when that announcement is made, we'll be sure to have it for you. So stay tuned to our news tonight and be sure to follow our social media pages. And as soon as that announcement is made, we'll bring it to you. Back to you in studio, Megan.
Thanks so much for that update, Joshua, and we look forward to hearing from you again tonight at 7:30. While the two major political parties are making final preparations to ratify their candidates in hopes of filling the West Grand Bahama and Bimini seat, the big question still remains: when will the upcoming by-election be called? According to parliamentary laws, a by-election must be called within 60 days from the death of a member of parliament. The former member of parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obi Wilchcombe, died on September 25th, which means the by-election must happen by November 25th. Deputy Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Keishla Adderley, had this to say.
Well, there is only one man who can make that announcement and who will make that announcement, other than to tell you that obviously that date is guided by the parameters outlined in the Election Act and the Act guiding by-elections. But that announcement will come from the Prime Minister in due course, and that is as much as I can say about that.
A judge has directed a jury to acquit a man accused of shooting an off-duty policeman during an attempted armed robbery. Justice Gilumina Archer Minnis ruled that Valentino Ferguson didn't have a case to answer to charges of attempted murder and attempted armed robbery. Prosecutors allege that around 2:30 a.m. on June 6, 2016, Ferguson and Dominique Roll went to the police officer's home in Winton Meadows with the intention of stealing stealing parts from his Honda Accord. While in the yard, the officer confronted the men, and one of them allegedly shot at him. He returned fire and shot Ferguson in the leg. Roll did not go to trial and was sentenced to 2 years as a part of a plea deal. A man believed to be in his 20s is the country's latest victim of a deadly accident involving a Mack truck and motorcycle. This latest traffic fatality pushing the count to 45 for the year. The deadly incident occurring just after midnight on Golden Isles and Carmichael Roads near the detention center. Head of the Traffic Division, Chief Superintendent David Lockhart, sharing the details.
On arrival, responding officers found a Mack truck and a motorcycle that had collided. As a result of that collision, the motorcyclist was pinned under the Mack truck. He received serious injuries. EMS responded to the scene and pronounced the body lifeless.
Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan. A happy Thursday evening, everybody. Partly cloudy conditions on the outside of our studios right now. Warmer temperatures at 81 degrees. Your winds out of the northeast at 14 miles per hour, so it's a little on the breezy side out there. And your feels like temperature is at 85. Temperatures around the islands right now, it's 78 degrees in Freeport with some showers nearby. 81 in Allenstown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Great Harbor Key, and in Governor's Harbor. 79 Marsh Harbor, Central Bahamas. 81 in Kemps Bay. We pick up 82s. Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, Exuma, and in Deadman's Key, Long Island. Coburn Town, San Salvador, you guys are 78. And in the Southeast Bahamas, 84 Duncantown, Ragged Island, and in Abrahams Bay. 83 Colonel Hill, Cricket Island. You guys have some showers nearby as well. Also in Delectable Bay, you are 83. 85 Matthewtown, Inagua, and our neighbors at the Southeast Turks and Caicos Islands. 86 with some showers nearby. Satellite radar composite, we have that stationary frontal boundary across the central and southeast Bahamas producing quite a bit of cloud mass across there, as well as some showers and some isolated thunderstorms. We expect this frontal boundary to continue to weaken, but moisture associated with the boundary is expected to lift back towards the north, and we should see some increase in clouds across the central and northwest Bahamas through tomorrow, but we do expect a frontal boundary by Friday night into Saturday, and that's expected to sweep this out. We're looking for some nicer temperatures, and of course we have a newly formed system out there in the open Atlantic, Tammy. We will tell you more about that later on in our extended forecast. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at the tropics and the extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, the Economic Affairs Minister says government is doing all it can to become compliant with international regulations. Plus, the best in the business solutions for fixed, mobile, and cloud services now has a new name. And later, not enough water to go around? Well, our Jasmine Brown explores this new development in tonight's Sustainability First Report. These stories still to come when Our News returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments, bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in San Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed. We're
The country's push to be removed from the European Union's blacklist continues. This as the Economic Affairs Minister says government is doing all it can to become compliant. Jamila Mizik has more.
The Bahamas remains on the European Union's most recently updated list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alquitas addressing the issue at this week's Office of the Prime Minister press briefing.
There was a number of things that we had to do, inclusive of making some amendments to our Substance Reporting Act and putting in a new reporting portal, migrating information over from the former portal.
Alquitas noting that they will meet with the Forum on Harmful Tax Practices next week to give a report on what they have done.
What it is that not that the Bahamas has not taken these steps, it's that the Forum on Harmful Tax Practices makes an assessment and the EU takes into account their assessment. So the EU met first. They do not have the benefit of the information that we will give to the forum. We have not been standing still. We have taken into account the issues that they raised, even though we do not think that they should have arisen to the point of being non-compliant.
The Economic Affairs Minister echoing a point Prime Minister Philip Davis made last month at the G77 plus China Summit in Havana, Cuba, where Davis called for the United Nations to oversee international tax cooperation and administration. At the time, Davis acknowledged the unfair impacts of blacklisting by the OECD and the European Union on countries like the Bahamas.
We do not think that jurisdictions who are in competition with us and other jurisdictions in terms of financial services should be the judge and the jury of who's being compliant in terms of their tax standards.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jamila Mizik.
Thanks, Jamila. Well, what was once known as Cable Bahamas Business Solutions will now be Alive Business Solutions. The renaming taking place at a launch last night. Alive Chief Executive Officer John Gomez noting, however, that this goes beyond a name change. While Vice President of Business Solutions Sharnette Thompson says this move caters to businesses of all sizes.
Also, it means higher speeds, faster speeds, more reliability, because the network is a fiber network. And so we're launching a fiber solution that will really enhance the performance of the network for us.
So Alive Businesses supports businesses of all shapes and sizes, whether it's a small, medium business just starting out, a business that's trying to grow and get to the next level and needs more bandwidth, or needs to find a way to be able to do things in a mobile platform, as well as larger customers like hotels and government that are always looking for ways to increase efficiency, to improve automation, to improve customer service, and of course to reduce costs.
Thompson adding Alive Business Solutions will continue to be the best in business solutions for fixed, mobile, and cloud services, while adding all of the great things that comes with the Alive fiber network.
So that we can take advantage of those things for small business customers that are looking for fast internet, that are looking for connectivity and the best service and prices, as well as take advantage of that for the enterprise and government customers that need scalable platforms to do it.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world. As a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations calls for diplomacy during the Israel-Gaza crisis. And from the region, an 18-year-old murder case in Aruba is solved after a Dutch man confesses to killing Natalie Holloway. Plus, Trinidad and Tobago seeking assistance from Canada to help Caribbean countries curb gun violence. We have the details when Our News returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments, bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The United States vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution that would have called for humanitarian pauses in the conflict between Israel and Palestinian Hamas militants to allow humanitarian aid access to the Gaza Strip. The vote on the Brazilian drafted text was twice delayed in the last couple of days as the United States tries to broker aid access to Gaza. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Linda Thomas-Greenfield told the 15-member council after the vote that diplomacy needs to play out. The Dutch man suspected in the 2005 death of Alabama teenager Natalie Holloway in Aruba confessed to killing her as part of a deal with prosecutors in which he pled guilty to U.S. charges of extorting Holloway's mother. 36-year-old Joran van der Sloot was extradited to Alabama in June from a Peru prison, where he has been serving a 28-year sentence for murdering another woman in Lima. He initially pleaded not guilty in federal court in Birmingham to 2 charges of extortion and fraud, accused of conspiring to get Holloway's mother, Holloway, to pay him $250,000 in 2010 in exchange for telling her where her daughter's remains were buried. Holloway's mother telling the press the confession was shocking and horrific to hear.
Today, I can tell you with certainty that after 18 years, Natalie's case is solved. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. It's over. Joran van der Sloot is no longer the suspect in my daughter's murder. He is the killer. In the course of his felony prosecution, here for extortion and wire fraud indictment, he gave a proffer in which he finally confessed that he killed Natalie. He described when and how he killed her. He said that after killing her on the beach in Aruba, he put her into the water, and that was the last that he ever saw her.
And finally, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago Keith Rowley urged Canada to help Caribbean countries reinforce their security by helping with coastal patrols as the region deals with worsening gun violence. Rowley spoke at a summit in Ottawa where leaders from Canada and CARICOM bloc Caribbean nations are expected to discuss climate change, economic development, migration, security, and the conflict in Haiti. Rowley told a security session attended by his Canadian counterpart, Justin Trudeau, that more cooperation between Canada and CARICOM would be beneficial and specified the need for better coastal patrols. Water. It's an essential part of life, but there simply isn't enough of it to go around. And according to the World Meteorological Organization, the hydrological cycle is spinning out of balance as a result of climate change and human activity. Jasmine Brown takes a closer look in tonight's Sustainability First.
Bahamas Bahamas first, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
Destructive droughts and heavy rains are causing major damage, while melting snow and glaciers heighten flood risks and endanger long-term water security. The recently released UN Weather Agency's State of Global Water Resources 2022 report emphasizes the need to better understand fresh water resources and urges a fundamental shift in policy.
In the report, we are showing that there has been a net loss of water in the rivers, and there has been also net loss of groundwater resources, and this has been especially the case in Eurasia, in Central Europe, Middle East, Mediterranean region, Central Africa, and both Western Americas, in US, United States and Canada, and also central and southern parts of Latin America.
And it appears the world is skating on thin ice. Glaciers and ice cover are retreating before our eyes. Rising temperatures have accelerated and also disrupted the water cycle. Currently, 3.6 billion people lack access to sufficient water. This is expected to increase to more than 5 billion by 2050.
Water that is used by humans is used for agriculture. It's used to produce food, and therefore it's absolutely critical for food and nutrition security. In some countries, it's even more than 90% of all the water withdrawals from the systems. So the water supply is actually used for food production. Drinking water, as your question is very important. It's globally roughly 10-12% of the water that is used for direct human consumption or domestic use.
So as the world continues to deal with water woes, there are little things you can do to make a big difference, like not letting the water run while shaving or brushing your teeth, taking shorter showers instead of tub baths, or only using your dishwasher on a full load. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Still to come on Our News, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was October 19th. Then in Our News at 7:30, our Joshua Williams is standing by live at the F&M headquarters as the F&M Council decides on a by-election candidate. And then, representatives of Carnival Cruise Line hosting an information session with the media and business community on Grants, Bahama. Those details when Our News returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments, bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Favorite Bahamian artist of all time? I'll give you some time to think about it.
The greatest Bahamian song was recorded by the beginning of the end, Funky Nassau.
We're in a day and age where things can be different and still be authentically Bahamian because it's the Bahamian people bringing it to you.
Junkin was like the heart and soul of the Bahamian culture.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station.
Welcome back to Our News. It's now time to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was October 19th. Let's take a look. On this day in Bahamian history, on October 19, 1840, the schooner slave ship Hermosa was wrecked off a quay in the Abaco Islands. The Hermosa was carrying cargo that included cotton goods, tobacco, and 38 enslaved people to New Orleans, Louisiana, when it ran aground. The ship was rescued by Bahamian wreckers and taken to New Providence. The ship's commander, Captain Chatton, refused to surrender the slaves as the British government had abolished slavery throughout the empire in 1834. He instead tried to get assistance from the United States Council in Nassau. While these negotiations were going on, the British authorities called in troops to board the ship and free the slaves. 15 years later, in a court case brought on by the owner of the Hermosa slaves, Robert Lumpkin, who sought compensation in Admiralty Court, the ship's insurers were awarded $16,000 in compensation in 1855. Fast forward to 2019, a GIS analyst from the Grand Bahama Port Authority released data outlining how Hurricane Dorian's storm surge devastated that island.
6 miles. So the storm surge came at 6 miles inland from the north, just short of Midshipman Road right here. There's a ridge that goes from east to west that actually stopped the storm surge from actually coming from north straight into the south. The reason why you're seeing no more data on the right-hand side of your screen is that basically everything over the bridge would have been impacted. The water came from the north straight to the south.
We've heard horror stories of residents having their loved ones snatched from their arms by the powerful storm surge during the hurricane. To date, many remain missing, with some believed to have been swept out to sea.
In other words, the north shore met the south shore. So the whole island in that area was pretty much covered with water. Okay, and so unless there was a ridge, which we didn't depict, so these open areas means that the contours were higher than the surge. And so those areas were spared of flood.
And in 2022, a protest led by the Coalition of Independents outside the House of Assembly became heated, leading to several top-ranking party members, including its leader, Lincoln Bain, being taken to the Central Police Station. At the time, Bain said their goal was to present Parliament with a draft amendment to the Immigration Act, but they never made it past the steps of Parliament.
Lincoln! Lincoln! No! 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 Leave me! Leave me! Move! You alright, Lincoln? Yeah, you okay. Lincoln, you and no. Yeah, but he ain't doing nothing. He coming to position. Yeah, but he ain't doing nothing.
Now to watch that historical recap again and for all of today's top stories, be sure and visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News Live at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia.
Thanks, Megan. Well, the F&M sector announces candidates for the upcoming by-election, and a Ministry of Work survey reveals 80% of the roads in New Providence are in poor condition. Here are your latest headlines. Who will be selected? First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. The Free National Movement Council expected to make a major announcement tonight. Also, a police officer to stand trial for alleged sex solicitation from a woman in New Providence. We have the details from the courtroom. Plus, the results are in. A survey revealing that more than half the roads in New Providence are not up to standard. And later, an update on the multi-million-dollar Celebration Key project in Grand Bahama when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived.
Doctors Hospitals reimagine primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Favorite Bahamian artist of all time? I'll give you some time to think with it.
The greatest Bahamian song was recorded by the beginning of the end, funky Nassau.
We're in a day and age where things can be different and still be authentically Bahamian because it's the Bahamian people bringing it to you.
Junkin was like the heart and soul of the Bahamian culture.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Tonight, the Free National Movement Council set to make a major decision. Who will be their candidate to contest the West Grand Bahama and Bimini seat? The council is still meeting at this hour, and our Joshua Williams now joins us live from the F&M headquarters. Joshua, what can you tell us?
That's right, Natalia. We're still here at F&M headquarters awaiting that announcement. Now, we understand that the front runner in the race is Bishop Ricardo Grant out of Grand Bahama. And despite Bishop Grant being the clear-cut favorite for many, he too had to go through a process. Tonight's council meeting will kick off the F&M's official bid for the West End and Bimini seat. But before such a decision is made, there is a process. It requires the submission of a resume and letter of intent by anyone seeking to be recommended to the Central Council. Submissions are made at the F&M's national headquarters in New Providence or Grand Bahama, with electronic submissions via email also accepted. This week, F&M leader Michael Pintard telling reporters that a decision would be made soon. He says the party is optimistic.
We are confident. We understand that traditionally it's been a progressive Liberal Party seat, but we intend tooth and nail to challenge this government on its performance nationally and its performance in Grand Bahama.
This by-election, Pintard believes, is one of utmost importance as the constituency and Grand Bahama as a whole face economic challenges.
Issues that face any political organization or candidate is what can we do in order to improve economic opportunities for Bahamians. This government has had 2 years to make a difference for those persons who were negatively affected by Dorian. Their record has been abysmal.
Many predict the F&M's choice to be Bishop Ricardo Grant out of Grand Bahama, who informed the Nassau Guardian this week of his application to the party for the seat. Despite Grant being the only hopeful to publicly share his desire for the nomination, as to who the party chooses, we'll have to wait and see. Now, as you can see right behind me, a number of F&M supporters have gathered here at headquarters on Mackey Street as they await the official announcement of the candidate. Current and former members of Parliament for the Free National Movement, as well as supporters, also outside waiting that official announcement. Again, in the lead at this moment is Bishop Ricardo Grant of Grand Bahama, but we'll have to wait and see. As soon as that announcement has been made, we'll have it for you on our social media pages. Natalia?
All right, and of course, we will continue to follow this story. Thanks so much, Josh. That's our Joshua Williams reporting live from the F&M headquarters in New Providence. Well, a constable accused of misusing his position to solicit sex from a woman has been ordered to stand trial. Constable Shaquille Williamson will be arraigned in the Supreme Court on a charge of attempted procuration next week. Prosecutors allege that Williamson was on patrol alone on July 5th when he came across a couple parked on a beach. A name check revealed that the 32-year-old woman had 2 outstanding warrants. That's when Officer Williamson allegedly told the woman that she could avoid arrest if she had sex with him. Police have formally identified the victims from Monday's double traffic fatality. They are 27-year-old DeAndre Woodside and 37-year-old Rashawn Rule, both residents of Nassau Village. You may recall that it was just after 2 a.m. Monday when officers were informed of the accident on East Street South involving a small Japanese vehicle and a motorcycle in the area of Calvary Deliverance Church. 2 people died while others remain in hospital. 80% of the roads in New Providence are in poor condition. That information coming from a recent survey conducted by the Ministry of Works. To address the issue, the ministry has short and long-term plans. Senior Civil Engineer Francis Clark says their technical team has identified 55 miles of road to be resurfaced beginning in January of 2024. Now, the project will take some 2 years.
We also have planned works that we intend to pave within this year or the early part of 2024. And these roads include Yamacraw Drive. I think Mr. Rami can talk some more about that. And that is expected to start tomorrow, which is the 20th of October. Lincoln Boulevard, as you may be aware, we started some works on that, and we'll be continuing some of that works within the next 4 weeks. We've also identified a section of East Street North.
Some 69 traffic signals were also recently upgraded on the island.
With above ground sensors. So for a majority of the signal locations, there are no longer the in-ground sensors. So the above ground detectors cover a wider range than the in-ground sensors would cover.
All right, cloudy skies outside the Our News studios this evening as we continue to enjoy cooler temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with a first look at weather. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia. Another nice evening outside. Slightly warmer, but we still have some clouds. Partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 81 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at 40 miles per hour. A little on the breezy side out there, and that's making it feel like 85 degrees. Satellite radar composite showing a frontal boundary still stationary across the southeast and central Bahamas with some clouds and showers associated with that. Most of that moisture will continue to wane as we continue through the rest of the week, but a little bit of it will be moving back towards the north. So we're looking at increasing chances for some showers and some isolated thunderstorms across the central and northwest Bahamas through Friday evening, but we do expect the frontal boundary to get near by Saturday, and that should clear out everything for the weekend. That's a quick check on conditions around the area. Stick with us, a look at the tropics, and your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, Carnival Cruise Lines making progress with its multi-million-dollar project in Grand Bahama. We'll tell you the latest coming up. Also, looking for a unique shopping experience while you can find all of your favorite luxury Bahamian brands in just one location. And later, making progress. The tourism minister gives an update on the airport in Exuma. That story coming up when Our News continues.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual.
Carnival Cruise Line sharing potential business opportunities with the Grand Bahama community this afternoon at the Grand Lucayan Resort. The project, set to welcome guests in July of 2025, is expected to boost economic activity on that northern island.
This is our port, this is Grand Bahama's port, and enormous gratitude to Carnival for sticking with us through thick and thin, because it hasn't been easy.
Celebration Key will welcome more than 2 million guests each year, and it's welcome news for Grand Bahama residents from Carnival Cruise Line, as the island has been in an economic slump for years. Representatives of Carnival Cruise Line and Carnival Corporation, along with the Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie and the Grand Bahama Port Authority, hosting an information session with the media and business community on Thursday to provide more details on the project and its progress. The cruise port is expected to be complete by July 2025.
If you go to the site today, you'll see movement. So there's already movement there as well. So as Armando mentioned in the town hall, there's two phases to the project, the marine works and the upland work.
Carnival ships will dock at an adjacent cruise pier that can accommodate up to 2 Carnival Excel class vessels simultaneously, which will allow guests direct access to Celebration Key. The $500 million project is expected to provide lots of opportunities for local businesses. It is said that there will be a wide range of employment opportunities as well.
We expect 300 plus directly with Carnival. On top of that, you have all of the jobs that are created directly on the site through third-party concessionaires, retail and food and beverage. Those we expect to be more than 400 employees that are going to be employed at the site.
Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie thanking Carnival for keeping the public updated on the project.
It takes a lot of work and it involves collaboration, and that's what you see here today.
Making Bahamian luxury accessible, that's the goal of the Port Plaza at the Nassau Cruise Port. In tonight's behind-the-scenes look of operations at the cruise port, our Megan Shepard speaks to business owners within the Port Plaza looking to add an extra special touch to your shopping experience. Let's take a look.
From the finest in handbags, jewelry, swimsuits, ceramics, candles, clothing, and more, the Port Plaza at the Nassau Cruise Port is the place you need to visit. Bahamian luxury, that is how the cruise port describes the Port Plaza, which features the likes of House of Assembly, Vita Cayo, Myocean, and Bahari. Owner of Vita Cayo, Tano San, says they offer an infusion of Bahamian products.
So the idea is to create products that present a emotional connection for locals and a functional souvenir for tourists.
Over at Myocean, Chief Operating Officer Brian Gowdy says they want to honor the Bahamian Islands through their products.
Our products reflect, infuse the colors, the shapes, the smells, the textures, and the spirit of the Bahamas.
Founded in 2016, San says Vita Cayo was strictly an online-based business until moving to the Port Plaza this summer. He explains the draw to the newly renovated cruise port.
When you consider the fact that the port sees, between 4 and the projections of 5 million cruise passengers, it gives you the best possible chance at accessing a very large market for success into the future.
Both owners are inviting the Bahamian public to visit the Port Plaza and experience the variety of Bahamian-owned businesses.
This is, I guess, the most unique property that we have today. Most Bahamians still don't know that it's accessible to them. It's a fun and interesting property just to walk around.
So we want people to interact with us. So their story, who we sell here, is as important as everyone else's story.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks for that, Megan. Well, Exuma and the Ragged Islands will see construction and repairs at its airport soon. This revealed by Deputy Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for the area, Chester Cooper. His comments came as he was the keynote speaker at the 19th annual Exuma Business Outlook, touching on a number of areas of development on the island. Cooper, who also serves as the Minister for Tourism, Investments and Aviation, predicts air travels to the islands will increase, which will demand better airport facilities.
We have our airport that's going to begin construction in due course. Our MP negotiated the money to ensure that not just Georgetown is done, but Black Point, we're going to have a new runway there, 5,000 to 6,000 feet. We're going to be able to land small jets right there. There's something special about what's going to happen at Black Point. Remember, I told you this. We're going to develop the new airport at Staniel Key, new runways, new FBO, and we're going to develop a small terminal.
Now, these developments are a part of the country's Family Island Airports Renaissance program announced earlier this year. Cooper says while work at the airports will begin soon, the other islands have not been forgotten.
We are continuing the work as it relates to the other 13 airports across the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So we want to ensure that the renaissance and growth that we're seeing in Exuma, that we also put the infrastructure in place to ensure that this happens across the rest of the islands of the Bahamas as well.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank.
Darkwell Jones and Liberty come up a hair short in the finals, and some UB golfers will compete in a big-time tournament. Don't go anywhere. Our Sports is coming up next.
Also, warm weather on this Thursday as we approach the weekend. Greg is back with your weather details when our news returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments, bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending.
This is our news. Welcome back. John Carl Jones and the Liberty falls to the Las Vegas Aces in the WNBA Finals. Here's Tej Adderley with a check on sports. Tej?
Thanks, Ataya. Good evening. Welcome to Our Sports. I'm Tej Adderley. Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty tried to force a Game 5 in the WNBA Finals. Unfortunately, they came up a fraction of a second short against the defending champs. Jonquel Jones and her New York Liberty fell to the Las Vegas Aces 70-69 last night. JJ scored 6 points, but she grabbed 11 rebounds and blocked 3 shots. Her teammates continued to struggle, with Brianna Stewart going 3 for 17 from the field for 10 points and Sabrina Ionescu scoring only 13 points. The game ultimately came down to a last-second shot by Courtney Vandersloot that airballed. JJ corralled the air ball but was unable to get the shot in before the buzzer. Asia Wilson, who had 24 points and 16 rebounds, was awarded MVP for the series. Bringing things back home, the White Sands Invitational begins today at the Ocean Club Golf Course. UB golfers will compete against a number of NCAA Division I golfers. The White Sands Invitational brings together golfers from 9 universities for a meet at the famed Ocean Club Golf Course. One of them was the University of the Bahamas. Golfers Mia Underwood, Travis Cartwright, and Peyton Hay are all set to go in the tournament. The men's tournament begins today with practice rounds, with the final wrapping up on Sunday, and the women are all set to go next weekend. Admission is free, so get out there and get ready to cheer for our Mingos. That's all we have for sports today. I'm Tej Adderley.
Nice weather outside the Our News studios this evening, but there may be 1 or 2 showers in the forecast for tonight. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when Our News continues. Stay with us.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments, bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages...
Welcome back to our news. Nice temperatures on this Thursday evening, but will temperatures be heating up or cooling down? Greg is back with your extended forecast in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks again, Natalia. Welcome back, everybody, for our final look at weather. We are tracking a newly formed system, Tammy, that formed yesterday evening out there in the open Atlantic. But first, we will get to the far eastern Atlantic. There is a strong tropical wave that moved off the African coast. Disorganized showers and thunderstorms associated with that. Another one is moving off the African coast as we speak. So we still have a series of tropical waves moving into the open Atlantic late season. But of course, Tammy formed yesterday to a tropical storm, now at 60-mile-per-hour winds, continuing to move towards the west-northwest, eventually moving more towards the northwest through the remainder of the week and into the weekend. This system, as it approaches the northern Leeward Islands, is expected to become be at hurricane status. So the extreme northern islands of the Leeward Islands expected to see some hurricane conditions as the system moves in that area. And eventually it should move off the northern islands by the end of the weekend and into early next week. And that should be the last they hear of this system. Closer to home, we do have that stationary frontal boundary still hanging out across the southeast and central Bahamas, generating some showers and some clouds. Some of this moisture will eventually move back towards the north, so we're looking at some increasing chances for some showers and some clouds across the central and northwest Bahamas through Friday, and then we expect the frontal boundary to be moving in for Saturday morning. Taking a look at a boating forecast for the northwest Bahamas, risk of rip currents is still out there for you beachgoers. North to northeast winds becoming 10 to 15 knots. They will back towards the northwest by tomorrow afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. High tide is at 11:50 tonight with a low tide at 5:53 tomorrow morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, southeasterly wind flow 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. Your extended forecast, showers and isolated thunderstorms will be in the forecast as some of that moisture move back towards the north. And then, of course, as I mentioned, a front boundary moving in by early Saturday. So we're looking for some very nice conditions for the end of the weekend and into early next week. Temperatures will stay in the low to mid 80s. And, of course, your nighttime temperatures will be in the low to mid 70s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. On the Record with Jerome Sawyer starts now.